how is everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, out and about in the van with another view from the van. Hope everybody's okay. We're a couple of more days closer to a return to normal action, and that's Newcastle United coming back onto the agenda and stuff. I can't fucking wait, to be honest. You know, the World Cup, we've had a few good games, but England versus USA was certainly not one of them. And it now leaves us in a situation where we're pretty much qualified, but we're plodding through it. It's not pretty on the eye, and the game against the States was far from pretty on the eye. Yes, we shared a possession, but did fuck all with the possession, you know, throughout the entire game. They had the best opportunities. They hit the woodwork, and despite their manager having the technical nous of fucking Peppa Pig, yeah, Gareth Southgate wasn't able to sort of navigate through the slightly choppy waters of you know, taking on the US in Qatar. Like I said, they could and maybe well have should have stolen all 3 points, and where that would have left us, goodness knows. But at the end of it, you'd have been more than happy with a point in the end. But purely just based upon how terrible and how bad that we were. You know, there's no way that England should be dropping points to the States during the World Cup. You know, I get all this, everybody's good opposition and everything else like this. I get that, I respect that, but at the end of the day, if England and Southgate are to be serious about winning a competition, then we can't be dicking around with performances such as that one. It was just pathetic. 3 shots on target for the whole 90 minutes. And we just never looked like trouble on their keeper. It looked like a training game. It looked like we were tired, lethargic. There was no real game plan. There was no real energy. And of course, Southgate showed his true colours in the second half. And I've banged this drum for a long time. But when it came to, you know, needing changes in the second half, and you're looking at the likes of Callum Wilson and Foden on the bench, he makes the safe changes all the time. It's captain cautious striking once a fucking again. And yeah, Fanny Face lets us down. You know, Jordan Henderson, for a Mackem coming on, you think, well, he'll give everything he's got. There's no doubt about that. He'll run around like a headless chicken and get everything to the cause. But if you are truly looking, if you are definitely looking to win a game, would you not think, well, the first substitution may be to bring Foden on? We'd done nothing in midfield. Midfield was terrible throughout you know, the entire game. It needed an injection of energy and pace and life. Mount and Bellingham was just absolutely terrible. It wasn't working. It was not working. So, you know, could we change the shape? Could we go for somebody with a bit more pace, a bit more trickery to unlock it? And he decides that he's going to bring on the likes of Rashford, which, you know, he had a tremendous impact in the previous game. But I'm looking at it, and then he's bringing on Grealish on the other side, the lad who says himself he doesn't really like to score or assist too much. And I'm like, I said to the missus at the time, he's looking not to lose this game rather than look to win. And it's just like, I don't know, you get the vibes of you're taking a Ferrari round the block and you're doing like 5 or 10 mile an hour in it. Fuck me, drive the Ferrari like it's supposed to be driven, you dingbat. Yeah. And again, Harry Kane, no shots on target. Callum Wilson managed that from the bench, and he wasn't even given a minute. He wasn't given any chance to be able, you know, to stake his claim. We all, again, saw what he did last time out. He came on and he had a great assist. However, this time not even given that opportunity, and I just found the lack of bold leadership from the side was there for all to see, you know. And I just think it's criminal. I think with a really good manager, England probably would have won one of the last 2 tournaments that we've done reasonably well in. And you know, I get the band of people that were saying, look, tournament football, and he's done well in tournament football, but that's the fucking past. The past is the past. Now is now, and you don't have to be a brain surgeon to look at the situation and see defensive substitutions with not losing in mind. And then to come out though after the game, clapping around like a fucking seal, clapping his bastard hands. Oh, I was pleased with what I saw. I was pleased. We don't. Come on. I know it's tournament football, and I know the objective is just to get out of the group. But fuck me, they could have done, dusted, sorted, and then arrested people and changed things around and given other opportunities in this Wales game. But now it becomes a lot bigger, because basically we need to go out there and even more so now do a job on these and make sure you get to the top of the group. You know, we've not lost, but we're not looking like winners. You know, we're limping by, and this has been the story of this calendar year. Not being good enough and not getting the most out of the players, the very talented pool of players that he's got at his disposal. And it's, you know, it's all right. You know, if we go through this tournament and we get dumped out in the knockout stages, it's another tournament that's gone and wasted. Why do we always do this? When it wasn't good enough beforehand, it should have been explained to him. It is not good enough, and get somebody in there who had the ability to lead this team much better. But for me, it's uninspiring, it's boring. And again, I was saying to the missus, look, it's better watching Newcastle play. It is better watching Newcastle play than watching England play. This is dog shit. This is absolute Bruce Ball. It's Bruce Ball 2.0, you know. And even more so, I can't wait for you know, Eddie Howe and the Newcastle lads to get back and beyond the TV screens, to be at the stadiums, to be watching the games, to be taking it all in, rather than the absolute shite, the shower of shite that we're having to watch. Because it's just, yeah, you know, lots of goals against Iran, but, you know, conceding 2 stupid goals when we shouldn't be doing it. We should be professional at the back and stuff. And we should be able to go and smash some of these teams like Iran, like the US, you know, 3, 4, 5s and 6s. That's how it should be. You know, we can't afford to take anybody lightly. We've got to do a job. But nobody throughout that team, to me, looked bothered. Harry Kane, 2 games, no goals. Doesn't look like he's taking shots on. He looks like he's tired. I don't know, devoid of confidence. Too isolated. He was dropping far too deep during the game for my liking. A striker should be up there. But it's astonishing to me. Yes, the players' performances was terrible, but the managers was as well. And I think it would have sent a clear message to the players. I am not willing to accept substandard performances. If Harry Kane's not playing well, you take him off and you replace him with another striker that you've got on the bench. He could have played Wilson up top. He could have even played Rashford up top. There was different combinations he could have gone with, and it would have sent a sign out. You could have rested him and said, look, I'm going to rest you for this next game. I think Shearer touched you know, on it after the game about resting him, but he won't. We all know that he won't. He has his favourites, he has his preferred ones, and he will stick with them until the end. And although loyalty is, of course, absolutely commendable, you can't be stupid and have your eyes closed to the obvious. This man can't see what's going on at the end of his fucking nose. But the entire game for me was an absolute complete and utter washout. I'm glad we didn't go out to somewhere to actually watch it. I've seen the scenes up at Newcastle, farcical scenes, fucking different channels getting put on and stuff like that. Maybe that would have been a blessing if they had fucking put something else on rather than the England game, because everybody else who watched the entire 90 minutes, fuck me, you're like bleaching your eyes out afterwards. It is that bad. And gone are the days when, you know, international football used to be a little bit of a break from the sort of tortured and terrible times for Newcastle. Now it seems to be the other way around. It's you know, Newcastle playing fantastic football, good football, scoring goals. They're committed. The press works so well. And for England, it was just completely and utterly the opposite. The press was nowhere near where it needed to be. And my only concern is, as a Newcastle fan, first and foremost, and by a country mile, is I don't want the FA to come calling or come stiffing around Eddie Howe. No way at all. And I've said before in previous videos, I think he'd rebuff them because he's involved and he's dedicated to the project. But it will be worrying times when Southgate is, you know, disposed of, when he's got rid of, which I do expect after what I've seen so far. This should be his last tournament, regardless to how it goes. I think there needs to be a change. There needs to be a change. I don't see us as realistic contenders, and I hear people who say, look, Brazil haven't played that well, Germany lost, there's been shock results and everywhere, and we've got through the game without tasting a defeat, and we're still on target. Yes, but this is not just on a snapshot of the game so far in the World Cup. The football has not been good enough, and Southgate hasn't been getting enough out of these lads for the entire fucking calendar year. And to me, I just think it gets to a stage where it's run its natural course, and that is where we are at. So I'm not expecting great things. I'm hopeful. I'll tune in for the Wales game and see how that goes. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I mean, I think Wales, they lost, and they look like, again, they're at a bit of a crossroads and need a refreshing up. They've come to the end of a cycle with quite a few of their players. They should be there for the taking, and I hope that England are absolutely pumped and get into them and press them all over and force them into mistakes and score a few goals and just generally raise spirits. But yeah, it was just an absolute letdown. It was an absolute letdown. I was looking forward, to it and stuff like that. But no, and they can't complain. They can't make excuses. I saw some of the pundits trying to make excuses, and then I think it might have been Roy Keane who said, "Look, nah, you can't make excuses for these second game into a World Cup. No." We're not going to sugarcoat it. It wasn't good enough. It was dog shite. You're up against a fucking Peppa Pig team, and we should be fucking doing better. You know, it was CBB's fucking bedtime hour in sort of relation to the powers of world football. You know, if we're going to struggle against these teams, imagine in the knockout stages how hard it is going to be and how embarrassing it could be for England. So a much needed improvement for the next time out, please. I don't want to see any more of that, and I just can't wait. I cannot wait until we're back watching Newcastle week in, week out, to watching Eddie Howe making changes, going for it, trying to be bold, trying to play front foot, attacking, pressing football all over the park. It is such a refreshing change, and once you're used to that champagne lifestyle, you don't want to go back and drink fucking dilute, which is what we were treated to at best last time out for England against the USA. But look, it's still well within our hands. Everything's okay. We are going to qualify out of this group. That's the main thing, but things could be a heck of a lot better. And it's Southgate and his coaches. Without the gated Guardiola, it's a massive step down, isn't it? Let's face it. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the game against America. Were you the same as me, equally unimpressed? Realising that obviously it's a process to get through and everything else like that, but you know, you tuned in to be entertained, and you were far from entertained and far from pleased. Do you think that the Americans probably deserved to win it? They struck the woodwork. And what changes would you make for the Wales game? I would like to see Callum Wilson given some time. I think Phil Foden has definitely got a strong argument to be able to start this game, because the midfield needs a complete rework. Obviously, we kept a clean sheet, which is a positive, I suppose, that we can build on. Yeah, just really deflating. So let me know what you think down below. Any other changes that you would make, and what do you expect the score to be when we take on Wales? Coming up next week it's the last game of the group stages already. Thank fuck for that. We're progressing through it. Yeah, and then anything else? Obviously Newcastle are working away in the background. A couple of transfers, a couple of names keep bubbling away, which is good to see, interesting to see. Newcastle maybe focusing on youth, and of course the women's side today at St James's Park, playing there in front of another record crowd. Fantastic to be able to see the support that's been given. Stavely going into the dressing room and giving a bit of a speech and stuff as well is absolutely great to see. Things we wouldn't have seen, over only a year or so ago at St James's Park. It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely fucking amazing. So yeah, let me know down below, and in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, fingers crossed for a little bit of entertainment when we take on Wales next time, and I'll speak to you later.